sort of what a nice season was. How on the flip side, how rewarding has this year been back and kind of get? We talked to you a bunch about get the real Kentucky experience.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I've certainly got
certainly
that
got
this
that
year.
this year.
It's been a great season. And just looking back from last year all the way to this year, I mean, we've come a long way, and I've just seen, what the heart of this place is really. I mean, even though everyone was still super encouraging last year, this year is just completely different. Like seeing this place filled up, it's been great. That's really all I can say about it. It's been the best decision of my life once again.
Jerry Tipton, we'll go to you.
Yeah, Davion, Kellen was on the other day and he said, he reminded us, he's seen several senior day things from his experience. How about you? What memories come to mind? What sort of expectation do you have for tomorrow night?
I've never played in a senior day game, but just remembering at Creighton, like how well actually, yeah, here I played in a senior day game, but like a field arena senior day game. I've never seen and played in one myself like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I remember sitting out at Creighton, they did it really big for the seniors there, and it kind of reminded me like visualizing like a full blue arena. That's the only thing I can remember about it. But I mean, I'm just super excited because no one can do it like BBN. I mean, this place is crazy, it's nuts, and I'm really looking forward to it. And we still got to stay focused for the game. Ole Miss is definitely capable of giving us a really good game, and we have a chance to, go in the history books again, being undefeated at home. So under Coach Cal, so it's going to be an exciting night.
And I wondered how many family members will be here or close friends, to see this for you.
Yeah, I got to check my phone, go through my text messages again just to recount it, but hopefully we get a good showing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Parents are definitely coming, so that's the most important. Siblings and everybody.
Lighting?
Hey there. So my question for you is kind of about how coming in as a graduate student, you're sort of like in the same boat as these freshmen in the sense that, you're coming in, it's your first year, you're building the team, but yet the mix of players on this team is a little bit older than usual. So I'm curious if you could kind of walk me through how it's been kind of finding that chemistry with the team and how you found a spot as one of like the older presences there with the experience, maybe not with Kentucky, but definitely experience, in the NCAA with the tournament, et cetera.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great question. Just, coming here, first of all, like I've never won a game in March Madness. So I'm really looking forward to getting there and just, I've been the younger guy on a team before, looking at all of, the way that the older guys carry the team. And, just now being in a flip role, coming into a new environment, especially my first year here, I knew how important and pivotal my presence could be on a younger person. So just try to use my experiences to help younger guys, especially, having guys around me that's just as old as me on this team. It's been extremely helpful, and it's really paid off for us just down the stretch. Even if we're in the game or out of the game, just having guys around us super motivated and know that one game can't kill you. Just other than when you're in a tournament, but just prepping for tough moments and being what I have went through to help other guys and learning from them as well. Like the special thing about it is being an older guy, especially on a great team like this, you can learn from the younger guys as well. And that's one thing that I've learned, and it's been a great experience for me.
Yeah, and just a quick follow-up. How is the dynamic of like coming together and really finding a groove with your teammates on the court different at Kentucky compared to, where it was at Creighton when there's maybe a little more continuity between years?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot different because when you're, rallying with somebody, that guy beside you have probably been your roommate for 3 years already, and you already have that connectivity between you two, and it's completely different. Like I probably, had lunch, met this guy's family, been with them for 3 years, and we've eaten over 100 times. Whereas I'm just with this guy. He's a freshman, and I probably haven't even met his family yet. Don't even know him like that, but he's my brother, and we got to fight. So I mean, that's just an example. But I mean, these guys, we've gotten really close to each other, and like this is the most brotherhood team that I've ever been around in my entire life, and it's the best team I've ever been with my entire life. So that says something about it.
Thanks.
Larry Bott.
Yeah, David, to kind of follow up on that a little bit, what do you think has made the bond for this team so strong and so special, do you think?
Honestly, I think everyone, just the core group that the coaches put together, I think everybody's personality, honestly, just meshed and fell together. I don't think it's one specific thing. I think everyone came together and sacrificed one thing. I think in order to make something special, everyone has to put in a sacrifice, and whatever way that is, then that's just what it is. But everyone has to, and I think that everyone did on this team, whether it's on the court or off the court, and everyone just comes together. We live together in the lodge, and just being around each other every day, that helps too. But I think that the way that people came in here with their attitudes, it was just completely different this year.
John Hale.
Davion, if I remember correctly, senior night last year, your family wasn't even allowed on the court. They had to stand in the stands and do all that. So what is that moment like? And I know you're really close with your brother, but your little sisters too, like having all them out there with you tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to mean a lot to me, just to see how far we've come as a family. Sometimes, like, even in the middle of the games, I'll just be thinking, like, man, I really go to Kentucky. Like, I'm really here right now. And it's still crazy to me. My family wasn't able to come my senior night at Creighton, even though, I mean, it wasn't my senior night, so they didn't get to show up. But just knowing that the guys that were my freshman roommates, and then we get to this special night, we're all supposed to be walking together, but like I got a boot on my ankle, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't even know what's next for me. And then next year I come to Kentucky, didn't even expect that. And, I have a senior night. My parents can't even come on the floor. So then this time it's like, okay, this is for real. Like, I really get to see it and feel it. So it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot to think about. It's a lot of emotions to go into it because my journey has been crazy. And I know my family is so proud of me, even though they don't get to tell me all the time. But I'm just thinking about, the things that my mom is thinking and my dad is thinking, like, man, this kid has really been through a lot just to get to this point. So it's going to be special for us.
Christos.
Hey, Davion, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Fine, thank you very much. As one of the most passionate guys in the team, in the locker room, on the floor, what it means for you to play for Kentucky, and what makes this team so special for you?
Honestly, just the way that we go out there and fight, even through, the ups and downs, the uncertainties, everything, like everyone rallied behind each other. And like, even when guys are hurt on the floor, they're still out there cheering. Even when like we're losing at a certain time, like guys are still motivated, still clapping. And I mean, that's really what makes people special. Like, the one thing I can say is like, we don't turn our backs on each other when it gets rough. And that's the most important thing, like, of any relationship, anything where you're trying to build. You can't turn your back when it gets rough. So that's really been the most special part. And then just the way we're able to turn around, like, okay, this happened, we're turning around, we're looking forward. And that's when you really see growth. And that's really what makes this team special to me.
John Hale, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, Davion, last year when you were making your decision, all the NIL stuff was still kind of up in the air, getting finalized. So you said that really didn't play a role. But looking ahead, now that you've been through it for a year, do you think that's something that could keep guys in school a little longer to make similar decisions because they have that kind of security blanket now?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that it's been a really big change in decision-making process. That's moving forward because the world moves financially. I mean, that's what makes it circulate. So I think that depending on a player situation, depending on what his professional career looks like at the moment, if he can be able to discuss NIL and figure out, okay, what would put me and my family in a better financial situation if I leave or go, it definitely will make a difference in if a player stay or not. But honestly, it's what's best for that player. Sometimes it may not be the money. So, I mean, for certain people, sometimes it's about your peace and your happiness within yourself. So yeah, it'll definitely make a difference to answer your question though.
Carl Tucker, back to you.
I just wonder, as you're almost done now, what have you hoped to be to Kentucky? Last year was obviously its own thing, but especially this year on a team where play for something and win.
Yeah. I want to be known like as that guy who tried to give his all, whether no matter what happened. Honestly, that guy that you knew was always gonna go out there and fight. A guy that would sacrifice everything for his team, and then leave as a winner. Like when you see my name and put it beside Kentucky, I want people to say like, this guy won, and he fought every night, and he tried, and he represented this place the way we wanted it to be represented.
Gary Graves.
Hey, Davion, I guess the process in accepting, being on the bench after being a starter last year, and then, using that time this year to really, have your moments to shine. I mean, what did you learn from that whole experience, that transition?
I learned a lot, and I found myself within it too. You go on this life journey, and sometimes you get so caught up and you think everything is about you. And then there comes a point in your life where you learn that when you can do stuff to impact other people, then you'll be impacted more. And that's kind of what I learned this year. Like, no matter what is thrown at me, or no matter, what I have to do, just understand that you're going to be blessed regardless if you stay consistent to your morals, your faith, and your work ethic. And for me, I mean, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because I really found myself this year, and I started to kind of fall in love with my role. And you really start to see who's with you and who's not when you go through something like this. Your real support system starts to step up. People who really care and value start to show face, and people who don't do as well. And that's the best thing that can happen. You start to lose the cancers around you. And, the team is doing really well, and I'm doing really well. So I've learned a lot through this process.
Tyler Thompson.
So your final game in Rupp tomorrow, do you have any specific memories playing in front of the Big Blue Nation at Rupp or games? And also, will Ghost be on the court with your family tomorrow night too?
Nah, he won't be on the court, but he'll be with us after the game. And I guess you could say it was kind of in front of BBN, but my game versus South Carolina, I think it was our last game in Rupp. So that's what I kind of credit my senior night, because we lost the senior night. But just seeing everybody get to play, like we got to clear the whole bench, like all the walk-ons, everybody got to get in. So that was really, our senior night, and we won the game. And I was just playing out of my mind. Like I really got into that zone and I started hitting. So that felt good. But I guess like in front of BBN, really just these past two games before the last one, our past two home games, just seeing like it was so loud, like, and it was a 9:00 game, and it was Alabama and I can't remember LSU. Yeah, and BBN got crazy in there when we got on those runs, and I really don't think that we would have, made the runs that we did, or even won the game without BBN, honestly, because it was loud, and I could see the other players in there, like their eyes got big. And one of the dudes specifically told me, he was like, bro, it's crazy in here right now. And I was like, welcome. So it's BBN. That's all I can say.
Jerry Tipton, back to you.
Yeah, I got a couple of basketball questions, Davion. 7 of the top 9 teams lost on Saturday, including you guys.
Yeah.
How does that play on your mind? What do you make of that?
Man, it's crazy. It's college basketball. It's pre-March Madness. That's all I can say. But I'm sitting on the couch and I'm watching. Like I literally watched all the games as soon as we got back, and I'm like, dang, bro, if this was our chance to lose, I'm maddest right now, but because we could have been number 1 in the country. But like Coach Cal said, he was like, man, we weren't ready for that. Like it's a blessing that they did us a favor that we lost. And I mean, all of the games were on the road. Like 7 of the top 10 were on the road. And then I think we had the lowest deficit margin. Like we lost by 2. So, I mean, we're still a really good team. And, you know, we could have been better on the road. And that was definitely a capable win for us. I don't want to say we should have won because we didn't, but that was definitely a winnable game. And that's a Elite 8 type of game, playing against Arkansas. I mean, just visualizing it and then knowing, okay, now we'll be on a neutral court from here on out, you know, when we play a team like that. So it's definitely something to be optimistic about and to still be motivated in your team to know that, okay, we lost by 2 in a great environment and we were on the road. So, I mean, let's just keep pushing and see what we can do in March.
And I wonder too, you guys always say, and it's been said for years by Coach Cal, that whoever you play, it's their Super Bowl and they get really fired up. How tough is that for you guys to get up for a Super Bowl week after week after week?
No, yeah, I mean, that's why you come here. You got to expect that. And, you know, it's crazy, like, to know that we are those type of people that, you know, come in and can, you know, make a team that's never had a great environment have a great environment. But welcome to Kentucky. That's what you got to expect. And you got to be a professional to come here, a professional person, and aspiring to be a professional player, because that's the type of, you know, that's the type of demand that you're going to get when you go and play in different environments.
First Oz, finish us off.
Davion, for you personally to see players like Oscar, to see the progress of Oscar, Kellen, Ty in his freshman season, Xavier, what does it mean for you as a teammate, and what is your responsibility to be a good teammate for them, to help them grow? How you see that?
No, are you asking me how do I see how have I seen their progress?
Yes. And how important for you to help to support them as a good teammate?
Yeah. I mean, it's very important. We all feed off each other's energy. Their progress has been insane, especially I've had to have a previous year with Oscar before he even got to put on a jersey. So to see him and see how he's grown in a year's time has been insane. Like, he deserves to be National Player of the Year. The way he impacts this team, he brings more of an impact than any other player in the country to their team. He gives us a chance every game to win the game and stay in the game. I think that's non-arguable. And, you know, just seeing Xavier, a guy that can come in and he doesn't even have to score a point to be able to lead us and put us in situations to win games. I mean, he's special because there's not a player faster than him out there, and he can control the game when he's playing the right way and finding people and getting them shots, and then being able to get his scoop layups and, you know, hawk the ball. And then, you know, Ty, he's going out there, he's playing even though he's not healthy all the time. He's putting his all on the line and fighting, you know, every game. And Kellen, just to be able to see the things that he's been doing all year, being consistent from the three-point line, and a super great leader, great teammate, great person all around. I haven't known those guys as long as I've known Oscar, but I can tell that wherever they came from, they're now a better version of themselves before they've got there. And I can even say that about myself. You know, it's just crazy how this place can really mature you. And when I say this place, I mean Kentucky and the basketball program, the way it can mature you and make you see everyone else see a better version of yourself.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Davion.
Yep.
We will have Coach. All right, everyone, sorry for that delay. We've got Coach Coleman here now. We'll use the raised hand feature and open straight to questions, please. Kyle Tucker, start us off.
Jenna, what stands out to you about sort of what Davion has brought to the table this year? I know you weren't here last year, but he had to kind of serve as sort of the spokesman in the face of a bad team that was going through a lot of struggles, and this year is a different role for him. But what comes to mind when you think what he brought to you all this year?
Character, first and foremost, is character, and he's obviously been through some triumphs, and he's been through some hardships. That's just how college basketball goes, and I think that the kid is unbelievable, and his character always shines through. So for us, he's been consistent in who he is. He comes to the gym and what I call an everyday guy, and he's going to definitely be missed. But we got so much left to do, and he's going to be a big part of what all left that we have to do for sure. But I'm happy to have gotten to know the young man and have gotten the opportunity to spend a lot of time with him to coach him. He and I, we have a relationship away from basketball. We talk about so many other different things. He's just a high character, well-rounded young man.
John Clay.
Chen, after the game tomorrow night, I think between the next day and the SEC tournament, you'll have just one game, the Florida game. You have a lot more practice time. How beneficial will that be, and what are some of the things you think Coach will want to focus on during those practices?
I don't know if there's a lot more practice time. There may be 1 or 2 days, but it's us versus us. At this point, I think Coach Calipari would like to see us starting to form into playing our best basketball at this time. And so I think we'll spend a lot of time just tighten up the screws and tighten up us and getting prepared to pack our bags and play for a long time.
John Hale.
Recruiting high school players or transfers or whatever, but how do you think that's going to play into guys making their draft decisions or stay or go decisions after the year? Is that a new factor that's going to be in this process when the season winds down?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't know how much or less will it play a factor in whether guys will decide to leave, come back, or recruiting. I think that you just got to be able to play par for the course, if that makes sense. You got to just be able to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, and kind of be knowledgeable of it and kind of be out front. And I think that University of Kentucky and Coach Calipari and our administration has done a good job of being on the front side of it instead of on the back end of it. And I think that's given us the experience we need to be able to deal with it and handle it whichever way it decides to flow.
Yeah, Chen, I asked Davion, 7 of the top 9 teams lost on Saturday, including you guys, as you know. How does that play on your mind? I think that's never happened before, 7 top 10 teams losing.
For us, I think we have to be able to just focus on what it is that we're doing. I know that was a storyline, but for us, we had an opportunity to win. We lost on the road in a hostile environment by 1 possession. We obviously could have done some things to put us in a better position so that it didn't come down to a 1 possession game, but unfortunately it did. And losing, it hurts. It's not something that we want to get comfortable with, but at the same time,
again, our focus is on getting better again every single day, every single practice, every single possession. The first possession of practice today is what's important for us. But I'm sure that that's the same sentiments that everybody will share that lost, that was in that top 10 conversation, is to continue to try to get better and prepare to play your best basketball as we get closer and closer to postseason tournaments.
And after the game, Coach Cal wondered about a call in the final minute at Arkansas. I believe he meant on the inbounds to Keon. I think they called Keon for pushing off, pushing the defender away. I'm wondering what that looked like when you guys reviewed it.
Could have been maybe a 50-50 deal. You could call it, you cannot call it. I know that if you watch my mannerisms on the sideline, I never focus on the refereeing. I didn't as a player, and I don't as a coach. Players play, refs, coaches coach. So, I mean, I don't know. 50-50 call maybe, but they called it, so we have to live with it.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, this is your first full season at Kentucky, but when you think about how this team is sort of trying to find a way to build chemistry, I know Coach Kyle has a lot of experience doing this with basically wholesale roster turnovers every year with so many players leaving. But this year there's a mix of more veterans and freshmen. How have you noticed this team come together? And what's difficult about having a recruiting strategy like Coach Cal has?
First of all, the first part of your question is my first year here so far has been unbelievable. I'm still living a dream. Let's just stay right there. I'm still living in my dream. I haven't come out of it yet. But I think it's been fun for us to coach a team with experience. I think we're balanced in terms of our class structure, what we have in terms of seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. I think we have a really good balance of our class structure, and it's been fun because this is a team that we obviously can do different things with and add new things and try new things and in terms of our schematics offensively and defensively, only because this is a smart group and not just because it's a more veteran group. Our freshmen are really smart and they're really they're really dialed in and have a lot of cerebral basketball knowledge themselves. So it's just been fun, and maybe it's been different for Coach, and I think he would have to answer that. But for me and for us as a whole and our staff, I think I can say that this has been a fun group to coach. It's an unbelievable group with a bunch of high character kids.
And just a quick follow-up on that. Obviously, when you're at Illinois, that's a place where there's maybe a little bit less roster turnover, but it's still college basketball. You're still going to basically get a new team every 4 years. But I guess, is it harder or easier when you have just such high turnover like there is at a place like Kentucky? And, this year there's maybe less of that. Has that eased things?
I think it's harder at maybe, some other places, but I think Coach Kyle has been able to master it. He's the best. I mean, let's be clear. He's won at a high level more than anybody in college basketball with having turnover every year and bringing in new guys every year. And I think that he's shown that he can obviously coach that kind of style and then having a style like this team with guys that have returned and having older mixture of guys. I think it just depends on the individual. And Coach Kyle obviously is a Hall of Famer, and he's been able to show that he can do it all.
Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well. After tough losses this season, we showed you the team always bounce back with a win. How important is to have that ability preparing the team for March, and how important is to have players like Davion, like Kellen, to help this team make that bounce back ability?
Man, I think Davion and Kellen, oh my God, like to be down 2 tough games that we had to play here at home without the other 2 guards, are Xavier and Tai. I mean, for the step up, next man up mentality that we have on our team and in our locker room, it's unbelievable. Every single guy has had their moments, right? And every single guy on our roster has had the opportunity to impact winning at some point in time. And so when you say bounce back, I think that the bounce back ability has something to do with what we have in our locker room, and we have a tight knit group that we don't bend, we don't fold, we don't break. And one thing I said to our guys the other day is that the strength of the pack depends on the wolf, and the strength of the wolf depends on the pack, which means that we get our strength from each other. And as long as we continue to do that, we don't get too high, we don't get too low. We stay even keel, and we get our strength from each other.
And from you personally, from coaching standpoint as well, how coachable is this team from your perspective?
Very coachable. This is a very coachable group. They're all bought in. They all like each other. We all have fun. They all believe in Coach Calipari. They understand that what he's doing and what he wants from each individual. There is no guessing. And so with that being said, this group is locked in, it's dialed in, and we're connected. And we talk about connectivity a lot. We talk about touches a lot. We touch each other a lot. That whole connectivity thing. And this is a fun group to coach, a fun group to be around. They love each other, and we're excited about where this group is going and what we're going to do.
Jerry, back to you.
Tim, Coach Cal and the players talk about how for each opponent, or most of them, it's a Super Bowl to play Kentucky, a big game. What's that challenge like for your guys to play 20-some Super Bowls in a season?
After a while, experience becomes the best teacher. I think that, at first, for me, it's been a culture change for me and a culture shock for me as well. But I think that after a while, and you keep walking into everybody's white out, blue out, green out, orange out, red out, and some type of event, I think that you got to get used to it a little bit. I think that we've played in a lot of hostile environments this year, and I think that our guys are kind of used to it, that they're not bothered by it, and they know that it's us against the world. And so we have a tight group, man, and these guys, they understand what we walk into on the road, and they're prepared for the challenge.
How helpful can that be in the postseason in March, when it literally is win or go home?
Very helpful, but from what I heard, the great part about being here at Kentucky is Big Blue Nation travels, and so a lot of those neutral sites become home sites for a Big Blue Nation. So we expect to see Big Blue Nation out in full force, because obviously the COVID situation is a little different now, and hopefully that'll help us out. But we have experienced neutral sites, we've experienced hostile environments, and hopefully we'll draw from those experiences and again be prepared for whatever the challenge is.
Thanks.
John Wong finishes off.
Hey, Chen, fresh minds, fresh legs. That's something we hear a lot this time of the year. And I was wondering if you think this team has the mind and the legs now to be able to finish out the regular season, possibly play 3 games and 3 nights in the tournament, and then 3 more weekends in March.
Our head coach, man. I mean, Coach Cal is, he like I said, he's the best, and he understands what it means to win in advance, and this time of year he's done it time and time again. So he's going to manage us the way he best seems to manage us, to make us the best team we need to be in March. And he talks about March a ton, and so we're prepared. He's going to prepare us. He'll have us prepared, and the management part is, he's the best at it. So I look forward to it. Just being on his staff and witness how he does this over and over, time and time again.
From a personal standpoint, how are your legs and your minds right now after a year?
Me as a coach?
Yes.
Oh, you've seen my energy, man. What kind of question is that? I'm ready to roll. You see me, I'm ready to roll. Only thing is I can't check in, but my energy will be ready. 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, it don't matter. I'm ready.
All right, thank you.
All right, last one to Kyle Tucker, and then we're ready to go.
As you talk about energy with a probably like 4-year-old Coca-Cola product in front of you there that's never been opened, what is your what gets you going? What's your energy drink of choice?
Nothing. I don't drink coffee, chocolatos, macalatos, lattes. I don't drink none of that stuff, man. Just the excitement about life and being happy to be coaching at the University of Kentucky. That's what drives me. It's just life.
I recommend that.
I don't
Have a good
drink.
one,
drink.
Jen.
I don't drink. I don't drink Diet Coke neither.